Hi, are you looking for a great St. Augustine lawn care program? I'm Frank Hernandez with Nature Pest, and I'm going to share with you my 7 secrets of having the perfect St. Augustine lawn, so stay tuned. You might think that if you hired a lawn care company to do lawn care treatments like fertilizing, pest control, and disease control and weed control, that you're automatically going to have a great looking lawn. Well, nothing could be further from the truth. The reality is that cultural practices are about 80% of what it takes to get a great looking lawn. Pest control, disease control, and fertilizing are only additions to that program. So let's get started with the first secret: mowing. Okay, what we're looking at is the lawn height cut, what it should be and how often should you cut it. Now we have a ruler in the ground and we're looking at this cut is about 4 inches almost. You can see the 4 there on that ruler, and we're looking at a 4-inch cut for this St. Augustine lawn. Now this is a commercial lawn, it's a park, so they're going to cut it kind of high because it looks better that way, and it's the proper cut. For a residential lawn, you might want to cut this at 3 inches, and 3 inches is between 3 and 4 inches is the perfect cut height for St. Augustine lawn. Okay, now how often should you mow it, and how long should you let it grow? Well, the reality is that there's a rule of thumb for mowing, cutting, trimming, pruning, all kinds of plants and shrubs, and that rule of thumb is no more than a third. You should not remove more than a third of a leaf, of a plant, of a shrub, of a tree height at any one time, because plants will store all of their food in those leaves, and when you remove that amount of food all at one time, it causes stress to the plant. So in mowing, if you're going to have a 3-inch high cut, then you need to mow that lawn when it gets to about 4 1/4 to 4.5 inches and no more, so you do not create stress on the lawn when you mow it. If you allow it to grow beyond 6 inches to double the height and then bring it down, you're causing too much stress because it photosynthesized, it stored all that food in its leaf, and now all of a sudden you took it away and it has to go and create more, requiring more fertilizer to be applied just to keep it green. See this cut right here? This is almost a perfect cut. This machine needs a little sharpening on the blade, but you want a perfect leaf cut, and this will heal very quickly. Okay, now that we've covered proper mowing and mowing height and frequency, I want to talk to you about the issue of scalping and why this is so detrimental to your lawn. Scalping is when you take your lawn and you cut it at the lowest setting, and it cuts it really, really short because either you like it that way or because you want it to last 2 weeks or 3 weeks so you don't have to mow it weekly. That practice is what it's doing is actually destroying your lawn, because lawns can only produce food through one way, called photosynthesis. When it has that long leaf, it can attract the sun and produce sugar, so it produces its own fertilizer. Second, that's how it produces really deep roots. So when you're mowing it short all the time, you're actually making it with very, very shallow roots, which doesn't make it drought resistant. So you need to go ahead and cut it at the highest setting. And if you cannot cut it by height because it's so difficult to you, I mean, it's just ridiculous for you to have to mow it every 4 days or 4.5 days, then at least mow it, get into the practice of mowing it once a week. We need to be practical. If you have a landscape company coming out and you cannot afford to pay them to come out weekly and they're scalping it, understand that you're never going to have a really good looking lawn, or it's not going to be a perfect lawn what you're expecting. If the grass is greener on the other side, chances are it's because somebody is doing it right. So you need to get into the habit of mowing that lawn weekly basis at 3 inches to keep it optimal. Second, what that's going to do is it's going to be so thick and so lush that it's naturally going to drown out weeds, and weeds won't be able to germinate because the light cannot get all the way down into the soil. So it's going to naturally control weeds. So that's a weed pest that's controlled. It's also going to make it more resistant to diseases because it is now has all the nutrients it could produce on its own. It is stronger, and it's naturally going to be more disease resistant. It's also going to be more pest resistant because it is stronger and healthier. So if it gets a pest problem, it's not going to be as evident as a lawn that is stressed out. So these are the issues with doing natural pest control, natural disease control, or reducing pesticide and reducing diseases in a lawn, is by actually having the right cultural practice.